Welcome to Yumi and All Things She. Our podcast is about all aspects of being a woman, from motherhood to careers, romantic relationships to family relationships and dynamics, and everything in between. It's a chance to learn, explore, and feel what's genuine and imagined as a woman in this world, along with multi-generational conversations that will stimulate your soul. So sit back, laugh, smile, and even cry a little along with us as we begin our journey together. You, me, and all things she. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Deb, and you are listening to You, Me, and All Things She. Today, we're going to talk about working women. And there's so many aspects to being a working woman today. And I know that there are women there that are climbing that corporate ladder and building their career from the ground up. And there are also women that are just working to make ends meet and help support their family from a financial standpoint, as well as others that may be in this transitional phase of work-life balance. And the key is that there is this work-life balance that we all face if you're working outside your home. The nice thing is at this point in time, so many of the positions are now remote workers working from home, and that creates enough of its own challenges. I know for me, as a remote worker that works from a home office, the challenge can be is that when I look around my home each and every day, first of all, I feel as though there's so many things I need to get done in my home that it's hard for me sometimes to focus on, okay, just get up and go to work, go to the office, and creating that structure for myself that I haven't had to do in my own home before. The next very important aspect is I always thought that I was better suited to work outside of the home. If I had that structure, if I had that discipline, if I had the need calling me to get up, get ready, get dressed, get out of the home, then I would be that much more productive. But what I have found is that I do have the ability to be just as productive if I work from my home office as if I were to be going out to the office. But what I have to be very conscientious of is that not mentally convincing myself to do other things or stay off track or off focus because I'm right here in my own home. So those are some aspects of working remotely that can be a challenge and how things have shifted over time. I try to be a little bit more productive. So if I'm working on tasks, I can micromanage my time and be an effective time manager, which I have found has been absolutely necessary when I work remote, work from my home office. Is I'll do things like when first thing in the morning, as after I get ready or before I get ready, is I'll separate laundry. And in between the tasks that I'm accomplishing, maybe I'll go start that load of laundry and change that load of laundry. And then maybe at the end of the evening, I can get it all folded, or first thing in the morning, I can fold it before I get started on my workday. So there are ways for me to actually incorporate effectively if I manage my time effectively. And sometimes that would be micromanagement, is that I just need to be sure and lay out a very clear, structured foundation in order to get all of those things done, rather than saying, I have to leave the house by 7:30 in order to get to work, and then I'm off at 4 or 5, and then I come home by 5:30, make dinner, and we all know how that works. So if you are still going to work, then, sometimes that structure is not a bad thing. I used to when I did work in the corporate life, I would actually utilize that time because I got home a little bit earlier afternoon than most people, and it wasn't really time to start dinner quite yet. So I would use that as my workout time. So I did my workouts in the afternoon here at home rather than getting and going to the gym or making the gym as part of my workout and physical exercise routine. So I did make it work under that circumstance when I needed to or wanted to, in order to effectively be a working woman. I think what the other challenge, I know that I did find this challenging even recently, was there were and this is going to be crazy, but some of you will be able to relate. I went and did some shopping. I was actually going on a girls' cruise with my mom and my sister and my aunt, and so there were several of us. And I did some shopping, and I didn't pay as close attention to the fabrics as I would normally do. So what now has caught me off guard is now I've got to iron some things that I didn't have to necessarily focus or iron before in order to wear them. So I've got a couple of blouses that I just didn't pay as close attention. So now I've got to kind of work into not only this work schedule, this work life, now I've got to work into some of this ironing process, and laundering it a little bit differently. So, that's just kind of the challenges sometimes that we deal with. And I know there are friends of mine that would say, I would just, if I got that home and laundered it and found out that I needed to iron it, it would be in the Goodwill bag ready to go, or in, the giveaway bag ready to go out the door. Unfortunately, there were two tops that I really liked because I bought them as outfits. So it was a complete attire, and I didn't want to just ditch them. They were cute tops. And so I just kind of said, I'll bite the bullet and I'll make ironing time as one of those tasks I need to do. And rather than dredging it, I'm going to iron for fun. Not really, but I would get it done. So I would just carve out, that 30 minutes in the evening, at the end, wrapping up before I, wind things down for the day. So I'd go get a little ironing done. And I don't wear those tops all the time. So, I only need to iron every few weeks, which isn't that big of a deal. But, just that's that whole concept of working. And for a while, I was taking it all to the dry cleaner, but that can be extremely expensive too. And then I have to manage my schedule and time to go drop it off at the cleaners and pick it up from the cleaners. So there's just all of those little nuances about being a working woman that we have to deal with. Another struggle that I recently had is I had this favorite pair of black heels that I've worn for probably more than 20 years. I've had them resold, I don't know how many times. Well, the soles are finally done that I can't resole them again. And so I was on a mission to find a new pair of black heels to replace those, because the last thing I want is to want to go dress up or need to dress up and not have the ability to do it because I'm not prepared. So I go through this shopping process trying to find the right set of heels to replace this one that's 20 years old. And of course, now I haven't had the need to dress up, but if I do, and when I do, I'm going to have those black heels and they're going to be ready to rock it. So just all of that aspect. But the beautiful thing is with the times today, I ordered one size. It was a little snug and I probably could have made it work. And, but I said, well, what if I get a half size bigger? Then maybe I could make that work and it'd be a little more comfortable. And, these days it's all about comfort for me. I am not as interested in the appearance and what it looks like without also involving the comfort of it too. So that was a little bit of what I had to deal with. But back to this working woman, we got to think about those. There's a time in my career when I was wearing suits all the time, and I had to think about slacks or skirts and jackets and blouses and, all of those different things, and coordinating it and making it all work. And then, now I've got all these other responsibilities to kind of fit into what's called a normal workday. But my work days have changed over the years. It's definitely migrated into a little bit more of a relaxed fashion as, kids have grown and I'm not juggling all of those gazillion schedules around. And that has eased things up, which if you didn't hear or listen to the last episode on self-care, that now has given me the time to add a little bit more self-care. So you may want to pop back into the self-care topic and make sure that you listen to that podcast. But working can, it's all in our perspective and what we think about and how we attain what we're looking for. So if you are having to work outside the home or having to work even inside the home and, keep your kids at bay or shut doors. And, I was talking to someone the other day, a realtor had called and he said he was working from his home office and, just his kids were climbing all over him all day. And so just don't mind the kids if I hear them. And of course, what did I hear the next minute was a kid or two. He's like, I'm sorry about that. And, it is the environment in which we work in these days. So things have significantly changed for the workforce. And for many of us that are working from home, it looks a little bit different. So if you would please, in the comments below, be sure and hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss an episode for the You, Me, and All Things She podcast. And please leave in there kind of some of the struggles or things that you deal with as a working woman that you want to talk about as we continue to move forward. So thank you so much for joining us and joining me on the podcast today. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So until then, make it a great day. And be sure to let me know in the comments and join our Facebook group, You, Me, and All Things She on Facebook so we can stay connected as in a community. And so I look forward to seeing you then.